Okay, Nasra, yeah, it's a little bit blurry, but I can still make it out. It looks fine to me. Okay, so summary. Okay, you can just put the title here. You don't need to have summary here. It is known that multiple sclerosis is uncommon in Arab region, and the clinical features are varied worldwide. Excellent. Okay, that's a really good introduction to the topic and to the topic of, more importantly, the summary, because you're talking about the clinical features in Oman, right? Also, there is no data. Remember, you're using present simple in the introduction. There is no data about MS in Oman. All right. This paper aims to determine the clinical characteristics of MS in Oman and compare it with others in Arab, Asian, and Western world. Excellent. Okay, this is a good paraphrase of the aim, and you talk about how they're going to compare it, which is very important. A lot of other students missed that. All Omani's MS patients aged between, okay, we don't need brackets here. In fact, this is wrong with brackets. This is a grammar mistake. Because when you have brackets, it means it doesn't exist, right? So between blank years, okay, were included in this study. Okay, the study was conducted in Sultan Qaboos University Hospital between 1990 and 2000. Okay, you need to have the months here too, and lasted for 10 years. Okay, this is redundant, lasted for 10 years, because this is 10 years, right? So you'd be better off saying between June 1990 to June 2000. Alas, that's it, period. All patients were seen and followed by the authors during the study period. Okay, good. Data was collected by demographic, medical history, and tests. Okay, you don't need to go into the specifics here. Okay, those are specific examples that you don't need to go into with the methods and material. However, you didn't say how many people were studied. Okay, this is very important. So you've missed a full mark for how many, male and female, if it's important. Okay, in this study, the male and female wasn't important, but other studies it is. Okay. Results showed that their ethnic Omani patients, okay, again, this is one of those points that is not, you don't necessarily need to talk about. You're under the word count, so it's not a big deal, but you may want to be careful with that, okay? We're diagnosed with MS, and it was also found that MS prevalence in Oman is about, okay, good, that's fine. Moreover, male to female ratio, again, see, you're talking about male to female ratio, you didn't put the actual numbers here. And the mean of the onset was 27 years. Okay, you have a problem here. You have not talked about the clinical features. Okay, you've mentioned points that were optional, but you didn't mention the really important part, right? So let's read on and see what the important part is. The study showed that the demographic data were similar with other studies. If it's similar to other studies, then you don't really need to mention that. But the conclusion, however, the incidence of visual involvement and optospinal form of MS is higher in Oman. Okay, so you've said it's higher in Oman, but you haven't given us the data to support that. You haven't given us the numbers. This is a problem. This is what we need to work on. Therefore, studies in Oman should concentrate on community-based incidence and prevalence rates and potential genetic factors. Okay, so therefore, why is it therefore? How does this idea lead to this idea? Therefore means this is, Nasser did her homework, therefore she will do well in the exam. Yeah, so there's no logical connection between these, so you can't use the connector therefore. You're talking about the community-based incidence and the prevalence and genetic factors. Okay, so genetic factors means they mentioned something about families in the study, so you should be talking about that. So your word count is 198. There's quite a bit of information here that you don't need, and so you need to delete that and add the information that you do need, i.e. In the results, yeah? the ones that support your main topic here. Okay, but all in all, it's very good. We have some points that we need to work on, but other than that, I would say this is quite good. I'm not going to give you a grade for this, but let's work on doing a better job, and we'll see how it goes from here. Excellent.